Be me, 31 meters. B 2 years ago. Living in a shitty part of Los Angeles, South Central, to live as close and as cheaply as possible near El Segundo to save up for a better place. Neighbor, 19F, who lives a floor down from me has a sick mom. Talk to neighbor almost frequently near the mailbox room. I would regularly check in about her and her mom. Decide to be direct one time about her mom cause neighbor was looking really ill as the days went on. Tells me about how her mom had a comfy janitor job but one time slipped down some stairs after a co-worker forgot to put wet floor signs. Company had real good medical coverage and didn't deny her anything during recovery. Her mom became addicted to pain medications after that, leading her to lose her job after she kept getting injured. One time she asks if she can come over to my place since she had nothing to do. Clearly she isn't eating cause she's been losing so much weight. I invite her over for dinner. She eats like if she's not had a meal in a long time. She begins crying as she's eating and I suggest we move to the couch. She spills her story and situation. Her and her mom have not been able to keep a job to pay rent and utilities. They have 3 months to leave as they have an eviction warning. I take pity and suggest that she can come over for dinner as often as she'd like if that will help her save money. What she neglected to mention and I would eventually later learn is that apparently she had a 12-year-old baby sister they kept at home. In order to avoid paying for uniforms and clothing she'll grow out of, they just didn't send her to school and kept her from being too active so she doesn't get hungry. The mom had plans to put the sister to work as soon as she hit 18. After a month of her coming over for dinner it would evolve into her practically hanging out at my place. I had no social life to keep up with after a year living there so I didn't mind. By the second month I was getting used to her company. Offer her to stay with me under the condition that she finds a job and keeps my apartment clean. She accepts and tells me she has to call her aunt to take her mom with her. I asked how come they didn't do that sooner. She tries to go around the question by saying she doesn't get along with her aunt and I shouldn't worry about it. Later that week, I saw a decently dressed man and woman go in and out of the apartment who I assumed were the aunt and uncle. I didn't want to get between the unsteady relationship so I let them be. Moments later there are sirens and the sounds of unsettled people. Curiosity got the better of me because I assumed they simply saw the state of the mom or worse. Turns out she called Child Protection Services. I saw the ambulance wheel out the mom and a really young girl. I grilled her for hours until she finally spilled the truth. This is where I learned about the baby sister. After pacing around not knowing what to do I simply let my loneliness get the better of me. At this point, I began to convince myself to see it from her point of view. On one hand, the girl gets the help she desperately needs and it won't come out of our pockets. On the other hand, I've been deceived. I was so mad I also wanted to just kick her out but, again, I was pretty lonely and gave in. Months into this thing I realized I had to teach her how to clean, do laundry, and other house chores. Despite her mother's condition, the mom was the one doing all of the work in the house. There was always a reluctance from her as she did the housekeeping. Eventually she slightly got the hang of it to the point where I didn't mind as long as she kept herself busy while I wasn't home. The company I was working for had to relocate to another part of Los Angeles prompting me to move and I took her with me. I was still mad about the false pretense she came to me with which would sometimes keep me up at night. Yesterday. My now girlfriend is out, running errands on my behalf. A young girl is with a lady knocking on my door. I assumed it was those church people or those door-to-door people looking for donations so I interrupt the lady sending her away. Turns out the young girl is the baby sister of my now girlfriend. Somehow the social worker found out where my now girlfriend lives and I try insisting I don't know who they're talking about. Long story short, the lady is a social worker who is hoping to reunite the sisters. Girlfriend gets home. Social worker lady tries to indirectly suggest we take the baby sister in. Girlfriend lashes out and blames baby sister for everything. Social worker apologizes to me and quickly escorts the young girl out. The whole time the young girl has a vacant expression and does not react to anything except the social worker tell her they're leaving. Girlfriend starts screaming and cursing her baby sister and how happy she is to be rid of her. The moment I embrace her she collapses into my arms and cries. I help her up and lay her on the sofa. She is so stressed out he starts hitting her forehead. I simply hold her closely and don't let go. Decide to call the next day off. B today. She's been sleeping all day today. I had to let this out. Brother's planning to seek therapy for both of us because I don't know what to do or how to approach this relationship anymore. This is a wild story, reminds me of when I had to move to Los Angeles after an altercation. Me, in West Philadelphia born and raised. On the playground was where I spent most of my days. Chilling out maxin' relaxin' all cool. And all shootin' some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys, who were up to no good, started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She said you were moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air. I begged and pleaded with her day after day. But she packed my suitcase and sent me on my way. She gave me a kiss and then she gave me my ticket. I put my Walkman on and said, I might as well kick it. First class, yo this is bad. Drinking orange juice out of a champagne glass. Is this what the people of Bel Air living like? This might be alright. But wait I hear they're prissy, wine all that. Is Bel Air the type of place they send to school cat? I don't think so. I'll see when I get there. I hope they're prepared for the Prince of Bel Air. Well, the plane landed and when I came out, there was a dude who looked like a cop standing there with my name out. I ain't trying to get arrested. I just got here. I sprang with the quickness like lightning, disappeared. I whistled for a cab and when it came near, the license plate said fresh and it had dice in the mirror. If anything I can say this cab is rare. But I thought now forget it dash yo homes to Bel Air. I pulled up to the house about 7 or 8. And I yelled to the cabbie yo home smell you later. I looked at my kingdom. I was finally there. To settle my throne as the Prince of Bel Air. Hey Neds, so I really need help. I'm excited but kinda freaking out. Here's the short version. I'm 19 yo and on Wednesday after work my 56 yo Chinese female co-worker is gonna drive us to her apartment where we will have sex. The purpose of this arrangement is explicitly to help me lose my virginity, like as a favor. What should I know or do? Here is the slightly longer version, with meme arrows for your convenience. Be me, 19 yo white guy working in a cafeteria kitchen in a big building. Most of my co-workers are middle-aged women. One of them is a 56 yo Chinese immigrant. Don't know how long she's been in the country. Face aged well, kind of a fridge body but she's skinny and tiny. China woman speaks decent English but has a noticeable accent and sometimes struggles with grammar, e.g. verb tense. One time, random woman gossip kitchen convo turns into asking me, one of only 3 young male employees and the only one on shift at the time, whether I have a GF. Tell them the truth, I'm a virgin who has never been with a woman. A bit of shock and laughter from them. Some tease, some are incredulous. Tell me the usual boomer platitudes like no way you're a virgin, you're so handsome and nice. Whatever. JPEG. Not gonna try to explain and sell red pill talking points to them so I just nod and agree and laugh it off. China woman jokes about how I need a woman to show me how. Convo changes subject, everyone moves on, later after shift, leaving the building to get home and see China woman having a smoke outside. Wish her a good day and make a callback joke about earlier. We talk and she mentions how, if I want, she could bring me back to her place after work Wednesday and we could have sex and everything. So I could lose my virginity and stop worrying about it. I'm a bit surprised and nervous so I just kinda agree and nod along as she keeps talking. She even implies oral sex. I leave flustered af. Be me. Incel. Therapist suggests I volunteer with the less fortunate to help me contextualize just how good my life is and hopefully improve my self-esteem so I stop pitying myself. Therapist signs me up for adult mentor volunteer for group home for retards. Most of them have physical disabilities on top of mental disabilities. Meet Dave. He looks like the stereotype of someone with Down syndrome but with the added factor of him being a burn victim and having a stutter. Volunteer there for a few weeks when Dave comes up. Hey Anani Chow see, come you don't have a wife? Explain I haven't found any woman interested in me. Well what about a girlfriend? When was the last time you had a GF? Explain to him I never had a GF before. Wow Anan I've gotten pussy like 100 times before. I get my dick wet every week. Are you really saying you never got laid before? TFW and a literal retarded mongoloid is roasting you for being a virgin. Be me. Fuck up every personal relationship I've ever had. Barely get through college. Dropped from military. Catch a DUI. The whole 9 yards. Jobless, have to move home. Contemplating which country I can move to in order to disappear. Eventually try therapy. Turns out I had AD the entire time and I just needed Adderall. For the first time in my life, I'm not paralyzed by my own retardation. For any of you who are curious, yes, they are literally that life-changing. You can find the locations with the best prices for your specific prescription online. Be me. Working out today. Cutie femoid in slut closes Marin. Thanks _for the _test _boost.gif. Have to get barbell for OHPs. She moves away. Then go to cables for shoulder raise. She moves to other room. Go to pec fly machine for rear delts. I am directly facing her, she goes away. Women, would you think I was following you? At least it was pretty clear today was shoulder day. Be me. Get scabies. No health insurance. Treat self with ivermectin. All symptoms gone in 2 days. Internet says 2 doses over 2 weeks cures 92% of cases. Take 3 just in case. Spray my belongings with permethrin each time. Symptoms completely gone. DL. Doctor did DIY scabies treatment. Is it ethical to have sex now or should do have to wait 8 weeks, the maximum amount of time it can take for scabies to take effect? This is purely for information as I had sex on Thursday. Be me, UNI student, doing my BSc. Get first GF in autumn. She was in a very bad place mentally. I convinced her to go to therapy, helped her develop a healthy, productive worldview and showed her that life is worth living. I did all this for her because I thought she was a good person who deserved love and help, also because this was my first serious chance at getting some action. Fast forward to today, about 3 months after we met. She's saying stuff like I want to spend the rest of my life with you and I can't imagine living without you and you're the best person I've ever met etc. She asks if she's scaring me. I say yes, I love her very much but I signed up to be a boyfriend, not a husband, and that I like fantasizing about our future together too but I'm not ready for this level of concrete emotional commitment. How do you handle a situation like this? I thought I wanted a long-term relationship but now she's asking me questions like where I'm going to get my master's degree, we're first years, and where I'll move to work. When I committed to her I didn't commit for the rest of my life, but it seems like that's the narrative she's been spinning in her head. She doesn't really have any hobbies or interests, she just wants to spend time with me. Forever. I'm starting to suspect she's either BPD or dependent type. I don't want to break up with her right now because I do actually, legitimately love her, but I fear that if I let time pass she will become more and more obsessed. I don't know what to do. Be me. Sit next to Stacy's in class. Annoying, really annoying but give them the benefit of the doubt. Otherwise I'm alone in that group. One of them farts. Silent but I can smell it. Realize that if it comes down to it they can pin it on me because they're friends and if one asks the other about it they would believe the other over me. Instantly leave. This isn't petty right? State gender or something.